All right, live here tonight from the Texas Motor Speedway. It's the Anarchy Motorsports Cup Series. I'm Matt Egan, joined tonight by guest announcer Ronald Klein, as we're getting ready to watch qualifying here. And it is the third to last race of the season. Well, Ronald, what do you expect to see here tonight?
I'm kind of actually interested. See if there's any draft that comes into play, or if it will just be kind of more of a driver's track and finding the right lines. I believe that it's actually going to be more about the driver and car and less about drafting. But we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting. I really don't think there's going to be a whole lot of drafting coming into play as we're watching qualifying play out. Glenn Murphy Jr. top of the speed charts. Now, that's big for Glenn Murphy Jr. He is 3 points back of the points lead. He had the points lead 2 weeks ago. Josh Thaxton, of course, leaving Kansas with the win. And having the points lead by 3 points. So still this and Phoenix before we go to Homestead to decide that championship. A lot can happen in that time. What do you think we see tonight?
Watching Thaxton come out of 4 right now, getting ready to take the checkered flag. This is his second lap. We'll see where he ends up on the speed chart. He will come across. Does not seem to improve his time. Or maybe that was actually his first lap. I apologize. There he is to the bottom through 1 and 2. Heading down that backstretch. I'll hand her off to you in 3 and 4.
Yeah, now looking through 3 and 4, he's going to hug the white line, getting as close to it as he can. Looks like Wheels almost touching it off the corner. And he'll be good for his lap, and it'll put him... How about third place on the speed
P3,
charts?
yeah. P3, that puts him up
Pretty
right there.
Impressive.
Yes. That's a tight battle for the points, and these guys are going to be starting real close to each other unless somebody can knock them off here. There's a couple of people that have yet to finish their qualifying. But
Josh Abney, always a fast one. Josh Abney in that number 14. Now, he is always a fast driver. He goes by nickname Spuds McKenzie sometimes. At least that's what I call him sometimes. But yeah, definitely fast driver. And he'll be looking for 8th. Jonathan Schwartz still taking some practice laps. He'll be 8th there now. How about Clay Dildine? This number 24 car. Him and Glenn Murphy are teammates, so I'm not going to be surprised to see the 24 near the top of the speed charts either. If he does get a lap in before qualifying's over, and I'm sure he will. He's on his first flyer. So far out of the 20 drivers that have taken the field, well, he is the slowest, although he doesn't have a time down yet.
He's able to keep it down. Yeah, he was able to keep it down through 1 and 2, up a little bit entering 3, but he did get a good run that's going to end him up in 7th. The 7th starting position. Yep.
I'd be happy with 7th if I were him, walking out of here. Walking out of qualifying in 7th. Looks like we'll have about 19 drivers in this race for 125 laps. A lot of them being chase drivers. Of course, really only a handful of them can win the championship at this point in the season. Rusty Farrell, Michael Tant electing not to make a qualifying attempt, though they usually do race, so I wouldn't see them not racing. But that will be qualifying done and over with here from Texas Motor Speedway. And they'll be gridding up here in just a moment. So we'll roll you through that starting lineup. Josh Thaxton, of course, starting towards the very front of the field, but Glenn Murphy Jr. are going to have that pole. And here's your starting lineup as they sit. And we'll actually, here we go. Glenn Murphy Jr., Randy Arms, Josh Thaxton, Chris Ostrander, Josh Susie, Clayton Collins, Clay Dildine, Tyler Popp, Darian Bubba May, and Jonathan Schwartz, Josh Abney, Jamison Miller, Tyler Meeks, Matt Hoyle, Ryan Farrell, Andrew Fesden, Kevin Trzynski, Joe Green, Jamison Miller, Michael Tant, Rusty Farrell will round out your field here from the beautiful Texas Motor Speedway. Folks in the YouTube land, tell us what you think of our new overlays. We're testing some new stuff out here and making some new stuff happen, and we want your opinion on it. I think they look pretty nice, but of course that's all subjective. Trying to get rid of that ASN logo in the top corner. Still a little bit to learn about these new overlays, as you can see, because I haven't quite used them that much, except for tonight. But we'll get them all working, firing on all 8 cylinders in the next few races. So we're just going to have to pull that bar back up. So there's your sidebar. There's the AMS logo. And here's the main bar. So, getting ready to go racing here in just a few moments, Ron. What do you think we're going to see here from Texas?
I think you're going to see some real speed out here. It'll be interesting to see. We're looking at track conditions right now, about 98 degrees. The time of day is 15:04, so 3 p.m. The track could get a little bit warmer, and then it's probably going to start to fall off. And looks like we're at a 2x modifier, so the time is actually clicking off at twice the speed. So we're gonna definitely gonna see the track change. So whoever's up front and running up front may not be running up front at the end. The track's going to change, so we'll see how the drivers adapt to it.
Yeah, that is for sure. And it'll be pretty interesting to see how they do adapt. When they adapt, because these guys, I've watched them all season. They adapt really well to different track conditions. It'll just be really fun to watch them have to adapt to these different track conditions, you know?
That's what makes this so much more fun when it's realistic. So, about to drop the green flag here.
And there it is. We're racing here from Texas.
Oh, Randy Arms did not get going very well there.
No, he did not. He got slowed up on that bottom lane, but Glenn Murphy Jr., I tell you what, with the pole position, he is out and away on that bottom lane.
Glenn Murphy Jr. took no time whatsoever, jumped down right in front of Randy Arms. Randy Arms kind of giving him that position unintentionally. We'll see what happens here in the next few laps, but the race is starting to look real good right off the start for Glenn Murphy.
Yeah, Glenn Murphy Jr., your current race leader as they go through 1 and 2, now going through the front stretch, now into 1 and 2. It is Glenn Murphy Jr. leading the show and doing a great job of it down the back stretch for the second time tonight. Glenn Murphy Jr. out in front, Randy Arms second, third Josh Thaxton, Susie side-by-side battle. It's Chris Ostrander with Clay Dildine. Chris Ostrander trying to get by that 24 Exalta paints machine.
Very interesting battles going on throughout the field. You're going to see these guys moving up and down, trying to find where the car gets around the track in the best manner. Currently looking at the 89 of Clinton Collins. He has fallen into place nicely in number 10th place, and we've got a battle going on back up front. Looks like Josh Thaxton is challenging Randy Arms for the second position.
Yeah, that it does, and Josh Thaxton, of course, is your points leader. Now, he only leads, folks, by 3 points. Keep that in mind. It's a 3-point gap between him and Glenn Murphy Jr., so that's a really important thing to mention. And now him running second, he'll hold on to that points lead. But if he drops 3 spots, well, then they're even for points. And, well, if he loses more than 3 points, Glenn Murphy Jr. being in the lead, he gets to pull ahead. So it's a really tightrope situation, I'd say, for Josh Thaxton right now.
Quick question about their point system. Do you know, do they give bonus points for the wins, or is it just straight points?
43 points awarded to the winner, 1 point for leading a lap.
Okay, so right now, actually, there is so it would just be 1 point to the number 848 car for leading a lap
Yeah.
and 1 point being up front. So right now, there's actually only a 1 point gap. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, I think it would be 2 points because Glenn would get the win. Or no, you're right. It would be 1 point, yes.
So 1 point. So at some point tonight, the number 18 of Josh Thaxton is going to want to get out there and try to lead a lap, get that point, make that even, and then stay as close to or finish in front of that number 48 with this very tight battle going on. Moving up into third position while we were chatting there, Joshua Susi has made his way up into third. Now Randy Arms falls back to fourth.
Yeah, Randy Arms, you know, he is always fast usually, and usually is really good at the end of the races, though sometimes we see at the start of the races not always the quickest car, but one of the most consistent drivers in this league. I wouldn't be too surprised with him falling back to see him come back later in this race. So long as he doesn't fall outside the top 5, I wouldn't worry too much about him. Speaking of drivers outside the top 5, how about Bubba May battling it out with Jonathan Schwartz? Now he's starting to climb up through the top 5, it looks like, as he currently runs 8th. Darian Bubba May trying to get through the top 5 or trying to get to the top 5. He was battling it out with Jonathan Schwartz there.
Jonathan Schwartz dropped down on the backstretch last time by. I happened to catch that, and I swung my cameras over to that as well. Not having the best of luck trying to get around the 43 as we're about to go 3 wide here on the front stretch. And hopefully no issue, and they make it through this corner no problem. I think someone might have lifted there.
Yeah, that might be a risky situation to be going 3 wide there. I wouldn't really recommend it here at Texas, not on the front stretch especially.
Got a little crossover move here back by Bubba May, Darian Bubba May. In that number 43 car, diving underneath the number 58 of Jonathan Schwartz. He's going to possibly, this lap, he's going to be shown in front of the 58 car.
Yeah, Bubba May getting a push from Chris Ostrander, and he will be in front of Jonathan Schwartz for the time being, though the question is, how long is that time being? That's the $1,000,000 question. We
got one loose on the backstretch.
That was Ryan Farrell, that number 93 machine.
I'm currently focused on the number 14. He looks like he's got a little bit of right rear damage. Oh, and just in front of him, somebody got in the wall.
Tyler Meeks into the wall. No wreck, no caution, but he's got a lot of damage.
Copy that as we swing back. I'm swinging my cameras back forward. The number 48 reaching out about 2.4 seconds, almost a half a second lead over the 18 car of Josh Thaxton, running in second place, who has about 4/10 on the 81 car of Joshua Susi.
Hard in the wall. Sorry to cut you off. Randy Arms just ate that wall.
Oh, as he goes through the front stretch, through the grass, bouncing through the grass. Gonna stay green as long as you can keep it down.
But you look at that side of that Octane Race Products machine, that thing is destroyed. He's got a lot of spoiler damage as well. He's going to have to bring that down pit lane for a quick repair. They do get one quick repair, but the problem there, he's still going to lose a lot of time.
I did notice that. We'll see if he drops down. I don't think he will. I think he will probably go out there and try to ride it out for a while.
Yeah,
he's not going to be this. I don't think he's going to be the fastest out there, but he'll probably try to stick it out, wait for a caution from someone else, or wait till a pit stop.
It's unfortunate for Randy Arms. You know, we were talking about him at the beginning of this chase as being a championship hopeful, and he was looking really, really good at the start of this chase. Unfortunately, though, he has slipped all the way down to 4th in the point standings, 23 points back of Josh Thaxton, and unfortunately, there's really no way he's going to make that deficit up tonight, and I wouldn't say in the next 2 races, and that's really unfortunate because, again, you go back to when we started this chase all the way back in September at Richmond Raceway. He was definitely one of the drivers we had marked off as potentially being a champion, so it's just a rough end to a season that was looking so good for that number 18.
There's that caution that we were talking about. It is the number 29 car of Matthew Hoyle that was sideways. I'm going to back my hand up here and see if I can catch what happened.
Kevin Trzynski got a piece of it, I can tell you that. AT got a big piece of it. Looks like Hoyle kind of came up into Kevin Trzynski. Or no, I'm sorry, Kevin Trzynski tagged the outside wall, got into Matthew Hoyle.
Yeah, the video kind of shows that we don't even really need to say much. Looks like the number 2 definitely got into the wall there. What a shame for him. But guess who this benefits, though?
Randy Arms will be able to get that fast repair and not lose his lap.
That is correct. So I'm sure Randy was looking for that caution. Glad that caution came out. He can come back out after probably knowing what he did wrong in that first little incident that he had, and probably not make that mistake again. So it's very common in iRacing. You see fast guys make small mistakes at the beginning of a race, go to the back, and then come back and actually finish very well. So I would not count that number 8 of Randy Arms out for sure.
Yeah, Randy Arms, like I said, one of the very quick driver, very good driver here. Definitely knows how to win. It's just a matter of can he get it done here. He's got a bit of a saving grace with the fast repair. We'll see how it plays out. Texas Motor Speedway track facts for you. Track temperature 98 degrees, so a bit of a cool one here at Texas. 8-mile-an-hour winds as well.
All the leaders came down pit road. All of them hit their boxes perfectly. Nobody slid through. Oh, there was a slide through a little bit further back. See, here comes Randy Arms up into his pit box. See who makes it out first. Looks like it's going to be pretty close. Oh, the 81. Nope. Not sure, actually.
I'm sorry, Glenn Murphy wins it out.
Glenn Murphy, yes, for sure. And I think Josh Thaxton just narrowly held on to the second place coming out of the pits there. That was a drag race between him and the 81.
All right, and we'll talk to Glenn Murphy Jr. in just a moment. We'll drag him up, and, we'll see how he's feeling after that first little 17-lap run here tonight. Glenn Murphy Jr., have you got a copy on us?
Yeah, what's up?
Well, 17 laps here tonight. How has that car been handling for you so far?
It sucks for whoever's not in the lead, man. This package is not good. I wish they'd do something to change it. It's not even leading the race. I'm just not happy. It's not fun.
So talk to us a little bit more about, kind of define. You said if you're not out in front, it's not good. Can you define it a little bit for the viewers out there?
Yeah, so if you're leading, it almost reminds me of IndyCar a little bit. You can just ride the bottom, and I can literally just mirror drive Thaxton. So, like, when he's coming up off the corner, I can just intentionally move my lineup to make him even tighter to try to use up his right front. So, essentially, you're just defensively driving the guy behind you, and it really, I mean, whoever has the lead of the race late here is going to win, and there's nothing you can do. It's not even a race.
Copy that. So there's no chance of multiple lanes later in the race as the track cools off?
I don't think so. We'll just have to wait and see what happens with it. It's just so easy to just ride the bottom, and it makes it so hard for the car behind you. I mean, I see what Josh is trying to do, but I'm hoping it's a battle for track position. I just hope I'm never the one that's stuck, in second or third here at the end of the race.
Alrighty, well, with a very close points battle going on, we want to wish you the best of luck out there. Looking good out there in that Ally Chevy number 48. Hope you have a good evening and hope to speak with you later.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Hopefully I don't run out of gas this week, so we'll see what happens.
All right, and that's Glenn Murphy Jr. And, he's always been a bit down about about this new aero package. He's never been a big fan of it. All season, been very outspoken about it, and I mean, he's not entirely wrong. It is definitely very hard to pass, but I kind of like some of the racing we get with it. I gotta say, some of it is not that horrible.
The cars drive so well that it makes the racing better in the Cup car than we've seen in quite some time, but it also has, it's kind of hurt the racing with the Cup cars because they're not as, even though they handle better, they're not as drivable now. Now it's kind of taking the driving out of the driver's hands. As we get ready to go back to green, I'm gonna be quiet here for a second and let you call this.
Well, pace car getting ready to hop on down. Glenn Murphy Jr. in control as he was 20 laps ago. It's actually an almost exact redo of it. Pace car down, green flag out. We're racing again.
48 gets out to a great start. Here we go, the 18 and the 81 going into turn 1 and 2. We're going to see who's going to come out here on top. The 18 definitely did not fare very well up there on that high side. He drops down in below the number 58 of Jonathan Schwartz. He'll be settling for 4th position currently.
And Jonathan Schwartz ran him way up the racetrack there. I don't know if you saw that, but Schwartz did not want to let him by. And Jonathan Schwartz now runs 3rd. So Josh Thaxton in position to potentially lose that points lead right now.
Here we go with the outside groove. Got 2 cars together.
There goes Susie.
We'll see. He's going to clear him. I don't know if he'll stay up. I don't know if he's going to drop down or if he's going to stay up there.
He'll drop right down.
He has, and there you go. So as we talked to your leader at the time, Glenn Murphy Jr., said, you pretty much got to be on the bottom. Those guys just proved him wrong. You can go to the top side. I think you got to have help to do it like they did, but you can definitely go to that top side and make a pass.
Yeah, you got to kind of run it almost like a super speedway. But, man, was that ever impressive and kind of ironic. Like you just said, you have Glenn Murphy Jr. say, well, he can't run the top, but there you go. Driver just proved it can be done. And that's why I don't think you should ever say, oh, well, you can't do this, because someone's going to come along and prove that you can do it. And there's a perfect example of it with Susie running the top. Don't forget, folks, vote for your Octane Race Products Driver of the Day Award. That's the wrong logo. Don't forget to vote for the Octane Race Products Driver of the Day Award. You can vote by putting the driver name or number in the YouTube chat that you would like to vote for. The driver with the most votes at the end of the race gets interviewed by the American Sim Network at the end of the race, in addition to the top 3. Look at Jonathan Schwartz now going for the lead. Now, Jonathan Schwartz, we've always talked about as being one of the top drivers in this league. He's only had 2 wins this season. His last win came back at Charlotte, and before that, you have to go all the way back to Las Vegas in March for Jonathan Schwartz's win. So he's had 2 wins this year. They've been very far spaced apart. He's itching for win number 3.
Earlier I said I didn't really think that the draft was playing that much. It is playing not as much. It's playing a little more than I thought it was, but it's not playing as much as it was for us, in my opinion, as it was at like Las Vegas at Las Vegas when we saw that race with another league. But I am seeing that there is some help to be had with the draft as we see the 48 get underneath the 58. Now that the tires are kind of worn, I think you're going to see the 48 drive right underneath them and drive away.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Glenn Murphy Jr. not getting any help from Josh Thaxton. Why would he? I don't think Thaxton's going to want to help the driver that might steal his points lead away. But it looks like Thaxton actually going to work with Glenn for the time being. He's trying to figure out where he wants to go. And it looks like right now the 48's his most enticing offer.
I think he's trying to be smart right now. I think he's just trying to be patient and not make a mistake.
Caution flag in the air. And it looks like Andrew Fesden.
Oh, and we got a couple of guys actually. Yep.
Joseph Green.
And we got a late spinner down the front stretch too.
And we got one smoking. I just noticed that. So Fesden. It started with Joseph Green with that 095 or with that 95. He got into the 195. And Fesden got collected pretty late on into it. Fesden actually collected himself trying to avoid the wreck is what happened. So Fesden, luckily, I believe, actually avoided all the contact. and we'll be kind of okay with it. We'll go on board with him. And yeah, I don't think Fez didn't hit anything. So kind of a lucky situation for that number 80 car. If he did hit anything, very minimal damage. But yeah, so he'll have to bring it down pit lane, get what he did damage fixed. That ASN machine be back out there.
Yeah, the 80 got into the front wall pretty hard with the right front.
Tyler Meeks, he got involved in a self crash. Remember that earlier where he got into the wall. Had to pit under green to take the fast repair. Well, now he's leading the race. He'll have to get a pit stop. He probably got the lucky dog, but how about that for a comeback for that 35 team? Now, he's a fast driver. Definitely knows how to get to the front of the field. I wouldn't count him out here tonight. We're going to talk to Randy Arms real quick under this caution. Randy Arms, have you got a copy on me?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, man, I tell you what, you've been having an up, down, in the middle kind of night. How's that car handling for you?
Well, it's pretty tight when you're behind some other guys. I had tried to run the top and I got the wall, so I don't know. We're back here in the back, so we'll see if we can work our way back up to the front.
Now, what do you expect out of this race tonight? You expect to go to victory lane, or is that in the cards?
I don't know. It's just so hard to pass. I don't know. I know Glenn, he's fast. Just if I can get back up there, I mean, I think we'll have a shot, but it'll be tough. I guess we'll see.
All right. Well, anyone you want to thank, sponsors, that kind of thing, real quick?
Yeah, I just want to thank you guys for putting on the broadcast. I see that Ron's here tonight, so we're glad to have him up in the booth. So I hope you guys, hope we can put on a good show for you guys.
Hey, I got Ron on as guest commentator. We're trying out some new overlays. Got a whole lot of new things going on.
So one thing I did notice before we let you go, Randy, is when you came in that time, I would have thought that you would have taken your quick repair on the previous caution. Looks like your car was still damaged, or my graphics were not correct. Did you just take your quick repair this caution here?
Yes, I tried to get it fixed just to see what it was like, and we was still pretty slow. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take the chance and to get the car fixed. So because we was going to lose a bunch of time if I didn't.
Copy that. Well, I appreciate your honesty there, and wish you the best of luck. Hope to talk to you later in the race.
Thank you.
All right, and ladies and gentlemen, that was Randy Arms, driver of that number 8 Octane Race Products machine. Don't forget, Octane Race Products Driver of the Day Award. Don't forget to cast your vote. For those of you watching, please put a vote in. Well, Ron, I'll let you get the green this time. We're working lap 32 when we go green, so just under 100 laps of action left. Man, has this ever been an exciting race.
I think we're just getting started, to be honest with you. We're in the beginning stages. There's a lot on the line tonight. Let's see what that 48 and 18 can do here as we get ready to come back to the green. The pace car is rolling along through 4, getting ready to duck on off. Then it's up to the leader when he wants to go. We'll see when the 81 fires. He fires off early, and he got the 58 right on his bumper. Is going to push him.
Oh, big wiggle.
I thought he might go to the outside, but he does not. The number 81 of Josh Osusi going to keep her down low. Got the 58 of Jonathan Schwartz right on him as we exit turn 2.
Yeah, big wiggle out of a lot of those drivers as they rocket down the backstretch. Thaxton looks to the top, the way top. No one wanted to go with him. And Bubba May slowly working his way through the field, as is Clinton Collins. Chris Ostrander, it's been 3 years since he's gone to victory lane. Can he break that streak here tonight? Oh, no!
Oh, no,
That's Jonathan Schwartz. no other drivers involved, but that 58 car, he'll have a fast repair. But that car there, that's toast. Looks like he was getting bump drafted by Glenn Murphy Jr., and, well, he got bump drafted a little too hard.
I've got it on super slow-mo right now here as we're getting ready to enter turn 1. Waiting for the actual contact. Oh, yeah, just a little hook there. Obviously not intentional, but looks like there may have been a hook there. Let the people at home decide that for themselves. But you are correct. I'm watching, and no one else seemed to have touched him. That's got to be pretty crazy considering.
Yeah, that's just bump drafting gone wrong right there. That's how I'd call that one. Well, who do you want to talk to? What's your pick?
I would like to. Let's talk to somebody towards the back of the field. Let's talk to Fessenden or Ryan Farrell or Jamison Miller.
You know what? We have not talked to Jamison Miller, I don't think, at all this season. So let's go with Jamison Miller. We'll go with Jamison Miller when he gets done with his pit stop, although actually he elects not to pit. So we haven't talked to that 4-car all season, and we're going to rectify that right about now. Jamison Miller, we got a copy on me.
Yeah, how's it going?
Well, I believe this is the first time all season we've spoken. How is that car handling for you, my man?
It is very tight. It drives like a dump truck.
Now, is there anything you can do to combat that? Anything? I mean, I know you can't make adjustments on pit road, but I know you can play with that brake bias. Does that help at all?
I haven't messed with it yet. Really, we haven't got any good long runs in to see what it will do, but right now it's super tight.
All right, well, what's your strategy with running here tonight? You have any particular thing you're going with, or you're just kind of trying to, figure things out as they come at you?
Just kind of wing it and try to keep the car clean.
Well, talk to us real quick about that paint scheme you got on that car there, if you don't mind.
It's the Busch Outdoors one. I just decided to sit down and make it one day, and turned out pretty good.
So you painted that yourself?
I did.
That's a great looking paint job. Congratulations on making a paint that looks like that. Very impressive. For those of you out there on Facebook, you got a driver who's out there driving, makes his own paints. Looks fantastic. Wish you the best of luck. Is there anything that you can do? We noticed that a little bit of bump drafting early in the run could. Couple drivers took it to the outside up front and able to move around. Were you able to see that, or is that kind of in the cards for you to make a move like that at some point in the race?
Usually I would say probably later on in the race, but I think with this package, and you have to make the move whenever you can. Otherwise, you're just going to get shuffled back.
Alrighty, well, I appreciate your time. I'll hand you back over to Matt.
All right, thank you.
All right, well, one last question for you. Do you like, we were talking to Glenn earlier, do you like this package? Do you like that you have to draft? That's my only question for you.
I do not. I'll be honest with you. I like the whole spread out. Fastest car should be up in the front, I think, but here you got guys that haven't been there all last year up in the front.
All right, well, thank you for talking to us, man, and good luck on the rest of the race.
All right, thank you.
And that was Jamison Miller, a driver we have not talked to a lot this season. Great to hear from him. And it is Josh Susie with the lead. Clinton Collins runs second in, is that a Trump car? Looks like it, but it might not be.
Which car?
Look at that. That is a Budweiser car, what Clayton Collins is.
Yeah, that's a Budweiser car.
Yeah, I thought that was a Trump car. Remind me of what Reed Sorensen had in 2016.
Well, I've heard it tonight here, and I've heard it some other places. I think the these cars make for great racing entertainment, but when you take it and you put it in the driver's hands, not a lot of drivers really like it.
Yeah, that is for sure. Well, you know, drivers always like to be in control. When you take some of that element of control away, they're not going to be pleased about it.
All right, we're getting ready to go to green. I'm going to give you a call here, obviously, but see what the number 81 does here.
All right, green flag, and it is Susie out and away with a phenomenal start. Bubba May got a great push on him there. I mean, Bubba May got a really, really great push.
Yeah, Randy Arms got a good, got away pretty well on that. Big loser there. It was 89 of Clinton Collins just really did not get going. Now he's in a 3-wide situation going through 3 and 4.
And right now, yep, 3 wide as you mentioned, and that's risky. 2 3-wide situations. Miller is 3 wide. I don't know if you saw that. We'll take a look at that. Miller was 3 wide for a moment with Michael Tant. They figured that one out really quickly in a hurry. I don't like that they get 3 wide here. I really don't think that's safe.
It's all in the driver's hands. If they think they can handle it, they'll put themselves there. If they don't, they'll back out. I saw the 89 kind of back out of it in the middle of 3 and 4 there that last lap. Took himself out of that 3-wide situation.
And you see Josh Susie right now leading the show still. Bubba May looking to run second if he can get by Chris Ostrander. Glenn Murphy Jr. running about 3 places higher than Thaxton with that bonus point. He will have the points lead. Now he is exactly 3 places higher. So he should have the points lead by about 1 point, maybe 2.
How about Randy Arms moving his way up? He was in 4th. He moved the outside line. He's back in 5th now, but and I think he's testing that outside line to see if it'll work or not. Good time to do it early in the race when there's really nothing on the line. Might give up a position or 2, but Randy Arms tested it out. Didn't really work. Fell back behind the number 48.
Yeah, and, like you said, a really good time to do it. Contact between him and Glenn Murphy Jr.
Glenn Murphy Jr. gets very loose. I know that wasn't intentional. It was not.
I don't know.
No, that was definitely not intentional. Something happened for the 48 to check up like that. Oh, as we got one that kind of
Tyler Pop, a little bit of a
bounced out there. That's the number 13 of Tyler Pop.
He has that sometimes, but he usually settles out pretty quickly. But not a good situation for Randy Arms and Glenn Murphy to find themselves in. Randy Arms will actually lose a lot of ground because of it. Might actually lose the spot to Tyler Pop now.
Yeah, he might have. He hit him hard enough that he might have front end damage. I don't think so. I'm gonna drop down here and actually look, but no, there's no major damage.
Luckily, no major damage. That could have gotten bad real fast for him.
Now we've got Josh Thaxton right behind Randy. He's dropping down to the inside here. This is for 6th position, coming out of the corner, going down into the tri-oval. They're almost dead even. Randy does hold that position for this lap. Thaxton down low again, coming out of 2. We'll see.
And Thaxton will get the pass. Now, here's the thing to remember. Josh Thaxton going into this race, he was the points leader. As it stands, he'll lose that points lead if the race was to end right now.
Yeah, as they run, we look at Glenn Murphy Jr. moving up. Nope, he just moved up into that 2nd position, passing the number 43 on the inside.
Yep, now he's lost the points lead. They would have been tied had he stayed behind the 43 of Bubba Mag.
I don't think the 18 has led a lap yet. So right now, if there was a 3-point differential, there's 3 cars behind or between them. So that's technically 4 points. So he's that makes it -1 now.
Yeah, so-
if the math is correct.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If with the 3-car gap, Murphy's up by 1. If it was the 2, they'd be tied for points.
Actually, no, because of the extra bonus point for leading.
Well, without the bonus point, they would be tied right now with it being 3 cars.
Now it's just 2 cars. Josh Thaxton continuing to move up through the field. Took his time getting around Randy Arms and Chris Ostran. Yep, you know what I'm trying to say. The number 78
Chris
car.
Ostrander, yes.
Yes, thank you. But look at the front two, Josh Susi and the number 48 of Glenn Murphy starting to pull away from the third place of Darian Bubba May just a little bit.
Yeah, well, that's the benefit of working in a draft like that. Oh, Murphy went through the grass a little bit trying to make that pass.
And he does get the position going into one. We'll see. I do believe he's going to have the momentum. He gets down to that line, really hugging that line. He's going to clear him easily. He'll come up in front of him. New leader once again.
Yep, and as they run right now, just did the math, with Thaxton running 4th, they
should
would
be tied.
No, because Thaxton would be getting 39 points. So he'd have 2,262 points. Glenn Murphy Jr. having 2,264. That would be a differential of 3 points. I'm not doing that subtraction right, probably, but that would be about your differential. I'm not a numbers guy, but I'm good with the calculator. I'm not good doing it in my head.
Gotcha. Thaxton was 3 points up prior to the race, correct?
Yes.
So there's 3 positions on the track plus 1 for leading a lap in front of Thaxton right now. So Thaxton should be down by 1.
Well, Glenn Murphy Jr. Currently the leader and pulling away, it looks like.
Thaxton's not going to let him get away. He's chasing down that 43 car right now.
Yeah, it looks like Bubba May's starting to fall off just a little bit.
But you are right. The leader is pulling away as Thaxton dives it down low in 1 and 2. Probably will not clear him. Going to be a drag race down the back stretch to get it into 3 and 4.
I think Thaxton will have him, if not through 4, he's going to have him on the front. Well, maybe not. Bubba May got a pretty good run that time.
Yeah, he kind of changed his lane going into 3. Dropped the nose down a little bit. That cut the 18 off. That probably lost the 18 a little bit of momentum. He's gained it back through the middle of 1 and 2 here. Not great center off speed there. I really thought the 18 was going to clear the 43, but he was unable to.
Thaxton might get him through 4 here because Bubba will get a little bit of a run, but watch off the corner. I think Thaxton will get a better one.
You're starting to hear, you're starting to see the tightness of the car. The 18 is trying to keep it to the bottom of the track, fastest way around. You can't let it, let it drift up, and the 43 is just able to sit there and hold him there.
Yeah, not really able to stay to the bottom as well as he would like to.
And the 18 is being smart here. I don't know for sure, but I think because he's being forced to stay down there, I don't think that he's burning his tires up doing it, but he is losing time.
And right now, some great racing at the moment before the race lead. As Josh Susie trying to run down Glenn Murphy Jr. That's going to be the hard thing now. Glenn Murphy Jr. out and away with the lead to have the ability for someone to run him down. That's going to be a very daunting task.
Let's give a big shout out to the number 93 car, Ryan Farrell, fighting off Chris Ostrander right now. Ostrander down on the bottom. Got that DuPont Chevrolet number 29 of Matthew Hoyle right there in the mix. Right behind them, we got the 24 car I'm sorry.
That's,
the
yeah,
24
Clay
car,
Dillon.
the Exalta car. We're confusing. You're just confusing me. We got a 29 that looks like Jeff Gordon, and then you got the 24 of
That is Jeff
Exalta.
Gordon.
Well, that used to be Jeff Gordon. So here we go.
Well-
the 24 making his way around the number 73.
Of Ostrander. Matt Hoyle having a great run right now. And the thing, Hoyle, he got his first win of this league at Chicagoland in probably one of the craziest ways you could ever win a race. But he had that happen to him earlier this year, looking for win number 2. The question is, can he get it here at Texas? What's your bet here, Ron?
I don't. If I'm being honest right now, until we see the track conditions change, we get past halfway point. Right now, my pick's going to be in the top 5 as the actual 5th place car now of Josh Thaxton has fallen back to 5th place. The number 58 of Jonathan Schwartz, after having that incident earlier and having to go and get a backup car, is working his way back to the front. He's on the bumper of the number 43 car right now. Going to be knocking on the door trying to get that third spot away from the 43 as he dives it down in 1 and 2.
Yeah, and Josh Susie looking really good in second, but look at, as you mentioned, Jonathan Schwartz having a great run to the inside of Bubba.
I think Bubba's got something figured out, though. Every time somebody comes up to challenge him, he just moves on up to that second and a half lane, lets the guy have the bottom, and for whatever reason, well, we know that they said that the car is tight. Just by staying there, the guys are either going to have to drive in very hard and kind of do like a slide job, or try to slowly and methodically inch their way past him through each turn for however many laps, which ends up costing you tires.
Yeah, side by side here, and Jonathan Schwartz not able to get by the 43 car, not yet anyway. And you also, don't forget, you get a bonus point for race win. Thank you, Hank Allen, mentioning that in the chat. So
that's huge.
That's
you can have a
45 points.
Yep, and there's a
potentially.
slide job up in front of the number 43 car of Darian May. The 58 car of Schwartz had enough. He pushed it through 1 and 2 and slid up on the backstretch. He's now moved up into 3rd place. Big loser here, Josh Thaxton has fallen back. I believe running side by side with the 43 really hurt him, tire-wise, handling-wise. We'll see if the car will come back to him. But it looks like he's going to have to do some real digging in the later stage of this race.
Yeah, that is for sure. Look at Clinton Collins, though. We haven't talked a lot about him tonight, but he's been an omnipresent being at the moment, because he has been at the front of the field, or the front half of the field, I should say, the entire night. I don't think he's dipped outside the top 10, except maybe the pit.
Yeah, he started up front, didn't have the greatest restart, fell back a little bit, maybe letting the car come into him. It looks like he's starting to reel these front guys back in. However, Matt, you gotta, I don't think there's no denying this. If you're gonna make a move on somebody, you gotta do it early, or you gotta wait till the tires fall completely off. And if you have tires left, then you can go ahead and make the move. But we've seen guys trying to pass at this point now, and it's so difficult.
Yeah, that is for sure. And right now, Glenn Murphy Jr. still leads to the tune of 2 seconds, by the way. So how about that for a race lead? Man, he's got this figured out.
There we go. The 58's trying to make a move on the 81 coming out of 2. Got a run on the low side. Pretty decent run down the backstretch. We'll see if he pushes it into 3. He does push it. And the 81 down into pit road. Leader down into pit road.
Yep, it's about pit stop time. You know, one driver, Jameson Miller, said we hadn't gotten a green flag run to really test it out. Well, here's your green flag run, Jameson.
All right, Glenn Murphy Jr. down pit road, getting ready to go into his box. We'll see if he makes any mistakes. Clean stop. Did not slide at all, nor did the 81, both in clean. Randy Arms in the 8, also in clean. Back to the track, the 58 coming down pit road. Oh, the
Faxon's
18
in
coming in
yeah.
hot. I'm gonna keep the camera on the number 18 and see if he ends up sitting there longer than he should be. I think he got it woed down. I don't think he got a penalty, but we'll see. As he slides through his pit box, has to back up.
Man, even if he didn't get a penalty, that's still going to be a...
He was very quick to back up. He knew it. He already had it in reverse.
He kind of knew that it was going to happen.
Not bad at all. No penalty. He's off and away. He did lose a little bit of time, but not catastrophic. So didn't take himself out of the race. Good recovery. Your leader now is the number 89 of Clinton Collins, as you were talking about earlier. He's going to push it a little longer, I think. Maybe wait till he's about out of fuel. He's not coming this time.
He'll get that bonus point for leading lap, though he's not in the chase. But hey, maybe he'll move up a position in the regular standings, and that'll always help. Kim, Dildine, Fesden, Abney, the 4 drivers that haven't pitted. But yeah, Clinton Collins has had a really nice night tonight. I gotta say, I think this has been the best night of his year. I really think this has been the best night of his season, and it's really nice to see a new driver kind of have one of those breakout nights, you know?
Absolutely. I'm going to go back and take a look at our leaders and see when they were on pit road last and try to kind of see what the fuel window was. Give me just a moment. Looks like they probably took the green flag on 38 and went and pitted on 65 coming to 66. So roughly 37, maybe 38 laps is when they pitted. Now we'll have to wait and see what Clinton Collins does.
Yeah, look at Bubba May and all these guys that have pitted just racing by these guys that are still at it. It's like they've got the anchor out on their cars. Everyone just getting by instantly. It's really interesting.
All right, here we go. Clinton Collins down pit road. I was curious to see if it was a 1-2 stop or how it was going to work out. Looks like these guys have got the fuel mileage figured out. It's probably a one-stop race for everybody from this point if we stay green.
Yeah, I would imagine so. And the question is, do you think we do stay green?
With it being spread out the way that it is, I do believe that we're going to stay green from this point on, unless it's, some weird, something weird where somebody makes a mistake, loses it on their own, or lap traffic or something silly. It would have to be something silly. I think we're going to stay green.
Clay Dildon still hasn't pitted. He elects to stay out and lead some more of this race. I don't quite know what his strategy is. I guess he's waiting on a caution, really praying on a caution maybe. He'll have to pit, yeah.
He's ducking down pit road right now, which will leave Joshua Abney to come down pit road, and that's going to relinquish the lead.
He spins out. Clay Dildine spinning out, trying to pit, and spins it up into the main infield.
And he does get that car off the racing surface, away from the racing surface. That turns the lead back over to Glenn Murphy. We'll see as this kind of shakes through. Number 81 of Joshua Susi now 2.8 seconds back. 43. Definitely a big winner there in that pit cycle.
So about the same distance between the drivers as when we pitted, or before they pitted, I should say.
Very close, yes. Big loser on that was Josh Thaxton. Only a couple of positions, but at this point, just a couple of positions really matter. So he's going to have to hope that these guys get to racing really hard, burn their stuff up, and he can slowly make his way back. He's now 7 seconds behind the leaders.
And right now, it is all being led by Glenn Murphy Jr., who has led 37 laps here tonight. I'm not surprised by that. Glenn Murphy Jr., one of the best drivers in this league. If you had to pick a driver to win here tonight, Glenn, who's your pick?
I'm not real familiar with the league, so it would just be a shot in the dark, and I'm pretty impressed by the 58 of Jonathan Schwartz. I know that he's not up there right now, but anything could happen. If you do get another caution, or maybe see what happens on this long run and see if he can track the leader down at all. But I'm gonna go with the 58.
Yeah, definitely a good pick there. And I just realized I called you Glenn by mistake. I meant to say Ron.
No problem. I knew what you meant. As the 43 takes over the second position from the 81.
Great run there by Bubba May. Now up to second, and overlays first, and we're back. Bubba May
the
now
58
looking
is
great.
now hard on the bumper of the 81. We'll see what the 58 decides to do here. He's gonna duck low, not quite there. It is there, it isn't there. It is there. He goes down there. Coming off 2, it's a drag race down the backstretch. I do believe the 58 is going to have it going into 3 here. We'll see how hard he pushes.
And just under 50 laps to go here. Bubba May now second, though he's still got to hunt down Glenn Murphy Jr. He's got to hunt down to the tune of about, what is that, I think 3 seconds?
Yeah, it's about 3 seconds. We'll see if the 58 and the 43 maybe start to work together here a little bit, do a little bit of drafting, see if they can chase that leader down.
We'll see how it all plays out here. Not a lot of time for it to play out here. Race really starting to wind down.
Yep, green flag laps. They're clicking off 30-second lap times. We got just under, 45 laps to go now.
Yeah, just about. As we reach lap 80, 81 at the stripe. Ryan Farrell trying to work his way through the field. Rusty Farrell, the other Farrell, looking pretty good on track. Michael Tant not having the best of nights, but running decently in 11th. I say not the best of nights, and he's still 11th. I say that because there's only 17 drivers on track. Kevin Trzynski is in 21st, sitting on pit lane. I wonder if he's going to come back out on track.
Give a big shout out to Joshua Abney and Joseph Green running there in the 15th and 16th position. Green just got loose, saved it. Abney was able to get around him. Racing all throughout the field with just 17 cars out there right now, but there is racing going on all throughout the field as I'm watching Matthew Hoyle, Jamison Miller, and Andrew Fessenden. There's a little 3-car pack there, and then as I move forward, it's a little bit more spread out with Tant, Farrell, and Ostrander. And you jump up, the Clinton Collins just kind of running by himself. Not terrible. I think he was running about 8th before the pit stop, so staying out didn't really hurt him in terms of where his positioning is, but he is now 9.4 seconds off. So a good one for me to keep my eye on is to see if he can cut that 9.3 seconds down, since he waited so much longer to pit. Maybe tires will come into effect here towards the end of this run.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. We'll hit lap 84 this time by 3 wide now. Fessenden going to be on the bottom if they do actually go 3 wide. Looks like they'll avoid it. Really, really close racing at the moment.
I'll tell you, Bubba May and Jonathan Schwartz have got something figured out, especially the number 43 car. He's knocked, it's only 4/10, but he's knocked 4/10 off, now 5/10 off.
85 laps in now, and you mentioned Bubba May starting to click time off. Yeah, down to 2.5 seconds. That was a 3-second deficit. Can we see Bubba May go to victory lane for the first time in 2019?
Or is Glenn Murphy Jr. just running the car at 95%? Saving something for the end of the run. About Randy Arms sitting out there in 5th position, kind of running by himself now. He's 5.3 seconds off the lead. Probably not exactly where Randy wants to be on track. And then right behind him, you've got Josh Thaxton, who has closed down from set. He's gained about a half second on the leader too, but when you're that far back and the laps are winding down, that's just not enough. You know, he's gonna have to really do something spectacular here to make up the deficit that he's gotten himself into.
And right now, 88 laps in, and Bubba May down to 2.3 seconds. He's closing that gap. You think we might see him win here?
I think you're going to see something different. Something is obviously changing out on the track, or Glenn Murphy is just not running the car as hard as he has to, or is capable of, one or the other.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but he's definitely doing something different with that race car. And I think it might be he's trying to conserve, but whatever he's conserving, he might have to be careful. He does not want to give up that lead. Doesn't want to let these other drivers get close. He doesn't want to get sucked back into that battle, you know? Would not be good for him.
No. And
Top 3 as they run on the left of your screen.
And the gap has pretty much stabilized. I don't know, maybe Glenn Murphy Jr. is out there listening, decided to pick it up a little bit, or the 43 is starting to finally give up.
Yeah, it's cutting down a little bit. 2.28. Not by a big margin.
Yep, I see 2.2 now. Jonathan Schwartz is started to fall off a little bit. He was just under 3 seconds. He's right at 3 seconds now, so he's fallen off just a little bit. I am noticing something different in the number 43 car on how he's driving certain parts of the track, so we'll see if that pays off at the end. No matter what, if he stays up there, we'll get a chance to ask him about it if he does stay up there. There goes another 10th on my screen, showing him down to 2.1 seconds, but the laps are winding down here. About 30 and change to go. It is plenty of time to cut that lead down, but is it going to come at the right time? That's the question. As he clicks off yet another 10th, the gap is now down to just 2 seconds, but the leader is dealing with traffic right now, so that could play a factor as well.
Yeah, 93 laps into this race here. We'll be closing in on just 30 laps to go in a moment. Or 92 laps. Well, yeah, 93. And Bubba May down to 1.9 seconds. Now, obviously, one more stop left. It's going to be the question of, does Bubba catch him before they have to pit? That'll be the real question to ask.
Big shout out there on the YouTube broadcast. Hank Allen watching, and looks like Cameron Hearn just joined and making sure that everybody knows that Jeffrey Epstein did not do something to himself.
Yeah, we'll not touch that one.
Nope, that's why I said didn't do something.
Yep.
Meanwhile, back on the track, your leader, still the number 48 of Glenn Murphy Jr., putting on a clinic here. However, the number 43 of Darian Bubba May as the leader brings it down pit road. Now, this is a big deal because the 48 is going to have fresh tires. Will Darian Bubba May stay out longer than one lap, or will he bring it down next lap, Matt?
I think he's going to maybe stay out for an extra lap to try and really maybe... Words are hard, but what I'm trying to say is he's going to stay out for an extra lap and try and so he'll have the lead when they come in, when they cycle around. God, I can't speak.
Oh, he gets the car sideways. I'm not sure. I think he got it woed up. I did not have his speed up. I think he got it woed up, but man, he had that car sideways.
Yeah, he got it set right, though. Don't worry. He'll be good to go when they get ready, or when they get it out. But, yeah, risky situation for Bubba May nonetheless. Clayton Collins will regain the race lead. The question is, for how long will he hold on to it?
So I'm showing Thaxton's a lap down, which means he pitted earlier than everybody else. We'll see how that pans out. I'm not sure exactly when he did it. I was not watching my scoring monitor. I can't even tell. Do you have what lap he pitted last on?
Yes, I do. It'll take me a long second to find, but I do have it. Clayton Collins last pitted on lap 71.
Okay, Josh Thaxton is now right behind the 43, so either the 43 had a very bad stop, or by Thaxton pitting that early, that has moved him that much further forward.
Yeah, so this will be an interesting situation here with Thaxton and Schwartz and everyone playing this. Look at Bubba May trying to get by Ryan Farrell. May lost a lot of ground on pit lane. I mean, a lot of ground.
Yes, he did, because Schwartz came out in front of him.
May's got an unfortunate thing going on where he had the potential to win this race. And I hate to say it, but I think he's kind of lost that potential.
It's never over till it's over, but he's definitely put himself behind. We'll have to wait until everybody pits and everything cycles around to see just exactly how far these guys are behind what will be potentially our race leader if there is not a caution.
And Clayton Collins at the moment is your race leader, though we're still waiting on him to hit pit lane, of course. It'll be interesting to see just how it all plays out right now.
Thaxton had to make I wouldn't call it a desperation move, but he had to make some kind of move, do something different. I'm not sure how much earlier he pitted than the leaders did, but he pitted earlier. That's put him in a position to get where he gained a couple of positions the easy way, but looks like he's not as fast as some of these other guys that just pitted a little bit later.
Well, hey, the big thing's going to be just a matter of can he win the race, you know? That's going to be the big deciding factor here, and, you know, whether or not he pitted early. Just can he win this race? So as long as it works out, no one's really going to question it.
Nah, he's already. Josh Thaxton's now being shown in 8th place with two people left to pit. That puts him back in 6th. So, and like I said, the other guys are driving away from him. So, a strategy did not work in his favor. Though he still may come out with a better finish than he would have.
Yeah, so Thaxton, safe to say, going to be losing that points lead. Although the question is how much damage being done. We'll get those numbers for you in just a moment. Of course, we'll see how it all cycles out here. Just under 25 laps to go. Clinton Collins holding on to the race lead. He's waiting on a yellow. It's a question of, does he get that yellow?
I'll tell you what, looks like Glenn Murphy's he's gonna be up by about 4 seconds right now over the guys that were behind him. If this cycles all the way through, pitting just that one lap earlier probably gave him, I can look back and see exactly, but probably gave him that second advantage.
Yeah, that is for sure. I definitely agree with you on that one. I'm wondering when this 89's gonna hit the pits. He's doing a great job right now. He's led 16 laps. I'm so happy to see a new driver out front. It's really just fun to watch, you know.
I do, and we still have 2 cars out there. We've got the 89 and the 14. Hoping and praying that there's a caution before they have to bring it down pit road.
19 more times around, 19 more laps for Glenn Murphy Jr. to find a way to win this race. Don't forget, sponsor of American Sim Network, Over the Top Paints and Designs. The best paint schemes on iRacing for the best prices can be found at Over the Top Paints and Designs. Check them out on Facebook, run by John Hendrick, one of the best painters around. And Josh Abney will cycle around to be your race leader, it looks like. Though Glenn Murphy Jr. is right behind him, so I don't know how much that's going to help Abney. I don't think he's going to be able to hold on to it for long, is what I'm saying.
Well, this is where it's really going to matter. If the 48 gets through this traffic here good, clean, and quick, he can pretty much set sail if it stays green.
Well, Abney's lost the lead now. Or has lost second, I should say.
Lost second, yeah.
Not the lead yet, but what will turn into the race lead. So Glenn Murphy Jr. going to walk out of here with 45 points if he wins this race. I'm very surprised that 89. Well, now he's on pit lane,
yep,
so there we go.
He is on pit road.
I was about to
watching
say,
right now.
Hasn't pitted yet, and there we go. So Glenn Murphy Jr. with 2,220 points. So I'll do the math right now. And so he'll get 45 points out of this race here tonight. That's a really good number for him to be sitting at. Josh Abney now, of course. Or Josh Thaxton, I'm sorry, has fallen to 6th.
He'll probably end up in 5th, barring nothing changing, because Josh Abney's still got a pit yet.
So that's 38 points he'd be getting.
So a 7-point differential, and there was 3 points, so he'll be down by 4.
Yeah, 4 points he'd be losing.
There goes Abney down pit road, let's see, gets on the pit road, no issues.
No issues, so Thaxton up to 5th.
Well, not only that, but sometimes, drivers do make mistakes, get in a little bit hot. He may, if he had to come back out on the track and brought out a caution, but we stay green. Abney is down pit road. That puts the number 48 back to the front. He's got a 3.2 second lead over the 58 of Jonathan Schwartz. The 43 of Darian May sits in 3rd, 3.5 seconds back. That is probably the closest battle right there between 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, with the 81 of Joshua Susi taking that 4th position currently on the track.
Yeah, so a 4-point differential leaving this race tonight is probably what we're going to be looking at for the points lead going into Phoenix, and that's really going to set up for an interesting show for the next 2 weeks for Phoenix and Homestead. I think it's going to be absolutely amazing to watch.
I'm watching the 18 right now. He's been fighting off the 93 of Ryan Farrell for the last 10 laps or so. He's got to be doing everything that he can inside that cockpit, trying to hold off, not lose any more points.
He's going to have 12 more laps to have to do it. Now, a 5-point differential, even if it goes down to 5 points, he can make that up in one race if he wins. It's not impossible. Glenn Murphy made up 3 points, added 2 points onto it, or potentially 2 points onto it. So, it's not an impossible thing. But he wants to have as small of a gap in Phoenix so he can build on it at Phoenix and make a big gap or a slightly big gap for going into Homestead. Because Homestead's really going to be a hard race for him. It's going to be a hard race for both of these drivers, But it is going to be hard to watch Homestead. Well, not to watch him. It's going to be a very hard race for that 18 team at Homestead and for Glenn Murphy Jr.
The 48's doing everything that he's supposed to be doing. He's been out front, led a ton of laps. He led a lap. That's really what matters. To my knowledge, I don't think that the 18 led a lap, so that's 1 point that unfortunately he was unable to get. So you can't make that up. And then if the 48 wins the race, like you said, that's just 2 points that were out there that you can get. So he's doing everything he's supposed to be doing to advance himself to try to win a championship here.
Yeah, and Glenn Murphy Jr., he's won the last 2 years the championship series, looking for the 3rd in a row. Can he do it in that Ally Financial Camaro?
I'll tell you, I was really, really impressed with that number 43 on the previous run.
Yeah,
this run just has not been as good. I don't know if he has fallen victim to overdriving or if being behind the car in front of him is changing the way that he's driving, if the car is getting too tight. But he was really marching forward and thought maybe he might have a chance to slowly creep up and challenge for that win, but not looking like it's going to happen with just 8 laps to go.
Well, the track might have changed a little bit too as well as the sun continues to set here. Rubber gets laid down. That's a big thing to remember as well.
It's still just shocking though, because he really had something working there, and I think that it is coming back again. Right towards the end of this run, but it's like I said on the previous run, there just was, if it didn't happen right away, if it wasn't consistent, that the time would run out, and time is going to run out on these guys without barring a mistake by Murphy Jr. or a caution. This one's pretty much in the bag.
Yeah, Glenn Murphy Jr. 6 laps to go, getting by Matt Hoyle now. Not a lot of racing left. That's the big thing at the moment. And we look at the caution breakdown here from Texas. We've only had 3 cautions for 11 laps. And get this, 12 lead changes here tonight. That's all from pit cycles for the most part. But still, that is a lot of different leaders we've had. And it's really flip-flop between Glenn and the 89, but we've had 12 different lead changes.
Yeah, we had a few lead changes there after the restarts, and then from there, the 48 has found his way out front, and like you said, everything else was just from pitting. So the 48's, hats off to him. He's done a phenomenal job managing this race, made sure that he was on pit road before anybody else, and sometimes that can backfire, but tonight it's worked out perfectly for him. He got down first, which just increases his time. Long run, I think Jonathan Schwartz and Darian May were probably the 2 faster cars on the long run, but the 48 was able to build up a bigger lead at the beginning of the run, and just not enough time for them to make it back up by the time it was time to come back and get more tires and fuel.
And 3 more times around for Glenn Murphy Jr. until he gets to go to victory lane here at Texas Motor Speedway.
We'll talk real quick about the number 35 car of Tyler Meeks. He's currently running in the 16th position, just one spot in front of him. Joshua Abney running in the 14th position. Jameson Miller in that number 4 car. Matthew Hoyle is running 13th. Andrew Fessenden is running in the 12th position. Rusty Farrell in the 11th position. Chris Ostrander running in the 10th position. Michael Tant, 9th. Clinton Collins in 8th. Randy Arms running in 7th. Ryan Farrell still on the heels of Josh Thaxton in 6th. Thaxton running 5th. Susie running 4th. Number 43, Darian May running 3rd. Number 2, second position, the 58 of Jonathan Schwartz, and your leader, Glenn Murphy Jr.
Final lap of the race now. One to go, presented by Over the Top Paints and Designs.
I do believe that number 48 is perfectly content just kind of hanging out behind that number 29 car. His relative probably hasn't changed. I've been watching the leaderboard. They're not gaining by him staying behind that car as he comes around the turn number 4 for the final time.
Glenn Murphy Jr., he'll win the race and regain the points lead. Good run here at Texas.
Schwartz finishes in 2nd. Darian May in 3rd. Josh Thaxton was able to hold off Ryan Farrell for the 5th position. That is going to set him back in the points, but it could have been much worse.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, it is exactly what Glenn Murphy Jr. needed tonight. He needed that points lead back, and, well, there you have it. Glenn Murphy Jr. taking back what was his at the start of this race. Or at the 2 weeks ago, I should say. Glenn Murphy Jr., your winner. We'll get that interview in just a moment. We'll let him celebrate first, of course. His teammate will be happy with that. I believe Jonathan Schwartz and him teammates. But Glenn Murphy Jr., I tell you what, man, this is exactly what that team needed to pull off. So Glenn Murphy Jr., if you got a copy on me, my man.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Well, you know, you always kind of come in when you need to, and this is exactly when you needed it. How's this win feel from Texas?
Yeah, it was a good race. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what happened with Schwartz earlier. They were trying to team up on me, which is 100% fine. I almost hooked him into 3, and I didn't even feel like I was on him going into 1, and it hooked him. But, you know, he got me a couple times last year, and he still got me more than I've gotten him. I know he's upset about it, but we'll see how it turns out the rest of the year.
Well, maybe a little rivalry playing out going into Homestead. Not exactly what you need, but hey, great job on the win. How'd that car handle for you?
It sucked, but there's a couple things those guys that were leading weren't doing right. You know, we were able to get out to the lead there and control the race. After I wrecked Schwartz, I was really upset just because a couple of things, and just kind of put my head down, and I pitted to give it back, you know, to give up all the spots he had lost as well, and he didn't have to use his last fast repair the rest of the race. So I don't know. The car didn't drive well, but we needed a win. Got the pole, led the most laps, did everything we could to control our destiny. So that's all we could do.
All right, well, 2 questions for you before we let you go. Number 1, what do you think your odds of winning the championship are, especially now that you have the points lead going into Phoenix, last race before Homestead?
I don't know, man. This package at Homestead, who knows? It's going to be drafting. I just, you know, a lot of these races come down to strategy, and it's no longer, unfortunately, like the most talented person driving these things winning races. It's strategy and draft and who's going to work with who. There's a lot of variables, but hey, if we keep showing up, winning the pole, try to lead the most laps, keep ourselves out of trouble, let's see what happens. I mean, it is what it is.
All right, and final question for you. Any sponsors you want to thank?
Yeah, I thank my team, Randy and Clay, do a good job working together. Thank Ally. Just go to Phoenix, do the best job we can. I appreciate you guys putting this on AMS, and hopefully we can finish out the year strong.
All right, thanks for talking to us, man. Great job on the win here.
I appreciate it, bud.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Glenn Murphy Jr. Obviously a little bit unhappy with the package, but got to be happy going to victory lane. We'll get with Jonathan Schwartz next, who is a little bit displeased with Glenn, but take it away, Ron.
Jonathan Schwartz, Ron Klein up at the booth. Get a copy, sir.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, looks like you brought it home in second position tonight. You had a good battle going on throughout most of the night with the number 48 and the 43 and 81 even. Talk to me, uh, especially right there before your final pit stop. Uh, you and the number 43 were kind of tracking down that 48 car. Something happened with 48. We saw him wiggle, get into pits. That allowed you to get out second, and we saw you closing it down. Did if you could have run longer on the longer run, I know that may sound stupid, but if you had more laps to run without needing to pit, do you feel like you had the ability to run that 48 down?
I don't know. I was gaining about a tenth to 2 tenths a lap on him on the long run, so I probably would have ran out of fuel before I would have gotten to him, but I at least would have made it close for the next round of pit stops. But overall, the race was pretty solid. Glenn hooked me in turn one and kind of sent me to the back for a while, and I was happy to gain my spots back.
Well, we definitely mentioned that during the broadcast. I was impressed how quickly you made it back up to the front. I actually picked you to win the race because of how far you had driven forward and the ability that you were showing out there. So very impressive on that. Can you speak anything to what you could have done differently? Maybe pit a little sooner, a little later. Anything that you could have done differently to possibly change the outcome?
I don't know. This package has our hands tied at the moment, so kind of makes it tough. If the race was started a little bit later in the evening, probably would have been better because the track started to loosen up there in 3 and 4. So I felt like that was where my car was best at tonight. Glenn was on his own time zone tonight, so kudos to him for fast again. So we'll see.
Well, copy that, and again, congratulations on turning it around. We saw that that wreck that turned you into the wall. Amazing comeback from that, and a great finish. Anybody that you'd like to send a thanks out to or shout out to?
I just want to thank the league for putting these on every week for us. They're a lot of fun, and thank you guys for broadcasting for us. And forward to next week.
Copy that. That is your second place finisher of Jonathan Schwartz. Thank you, sir, and have a great night.
Thanks, you too.
All right, last up on the interview block, third place finisher. Man, we've talked to you in second and third quite a bit this season, but we haven't yet talked to you in victory lane. That's Bubba May, if you got a copy on me.
Hey, man, I'm going to get there one day.
Yeah, I had you picked tonight. I really thought at the end you were starting to get a good run on. I thought maybe that last pit stop you had something kind of figured out. Unfortunately, you just not put it together. What happened there?
Yeah, if I could stop sliding through my box, everything would get better. But it took a while for me to figure out the low line. I didn't run any laps here, so it was just kind of like a pick up and play. Following Schwartz and watching Glenn blow by the field kind of helps you like pick out your line. But it was you couldn't do anything. It was just got really tight after 7 or 8 laps, so you were just basically freight training through the corner.
Now,
So I do see. I said that if we had a chance, I wanted to ask him a question real quick, if you don't mind, Matt.
yeah, go ahead.
So I noticed that you're running a different line into 1 and 2 than most other people were, especially towards the end of that run prior to your last pit stop, and that's when you seem to be really gaining on Murphy. Did the track change, and is that why your line changed, or was it because of the car and dirty air in front of you, or what was the change?
Yeah, it's a combination of both. The track temperature was starting to go down, so you got to kind of account for more grip in certain areas. There's a part on that apron in 1 and 2 that you kind of want to clip, and there's probably about 3 different ways within the 3 different feet that you can get to that line. It all just depends on how quick you can get to the throttle or whatever. But I tend to take like a wider line to get down to there, and I was figuring out during certain times of the run and like where you were at behind the car. It was a little bit better to enter earlier and sometimes. So it's tricky though with all the different changes.
Copy that. It was really impressive to watch you in the in that run right before the last pit stop, you had knocked off almost I think a full second, maybe just a tad bit more. So, very impressed.
Thank you.
Now, with 2 races left in 2019, you see yourself going to victory lane?
Yeah. We'll see. I don't want to take anything away from the guys that are actually competing. I'm kind of just more here to have fun. I'm at the bottom of the chase, and they got the guys who are actually racing for it. So if the opportunity presents itself cleanly, yeah. If it's a difference maker between a guy and the championship, no, I'll back out of it.
All right, well, talk to us, man. Before I let you go, any sponsors you want to thank?
Oh, Victory Junction, of course, STP, absolutely all the guys back at AMS, and thank you guys for hosting and broadcasting.
Hey, we're happy to do it. We can't wait for next season, getting to be back in 2020. 3 years running, or might be 4 now. I've lost count. But we've been with AMS for a while. We're happy to be here and can't wait for next season.
Absolutely, me too. Thank you.
All right, and let's get you with the race results. Glenn Murphy Jr., Jonathan Schwartz, Josh Susie, Josh Thaxton, Ryan Farrell, Randy Arms, Clinton Collins, Michael Tant, Chris Ostrander, Rusty Farrell, Andrew Fesden, Matt Hoyle, Jameson Miller, Josh Abney, Tyler Meeks, Joseph Green, Clay Dildine, Jameson Miller, Tyler Pop, Kevin Trzynski will round out your field here tonight. Well, I tell you what, that was probably one of the most exciting races we've seen from Texas in a really long while. Have a great night, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. Ron, thank you for being here in the booth tonight on short notice. I hope you had fun with it.
I had a blast. Great race out there tonight, and congratulations to all the drivers out there. Hope you go back and watch the replay and let us know if we need any improvements. Constructive criticism is the best thing for broadcasters anymore. And thank you again for letting me come up here, Matt. I had a blast.
All right, folks. Have a great night. We'll see you next time.